And, the rest of the band's doing their thing. And it's me, my dad, and then Scott Stapp directly next to me. And I'm like, Dad, get me a signed guitar. Get me a signed guitar. And finally he goes, you know what? Why don't you ask him for a fucking signed guitar? Stop asking me. He's right there. Why don't you ask him? So I'm like, okay. And I have this huge burp building, right? And I'm like, fuck, I can't just burp out loud in his face. So what do? Burp and blow it out my nose and then turn right to him and go, can I have a signed guitar? And he looks at me and he goes, did you just burp in my face and ask me for a signed guitar? And I just kind of pause and go, yeah. And he goes, you know what? I like this kid. Get him a signed guitar. He got my information. And a couple weeks later, man, there's a giant triangle box in the mail. And it's a Fender Stratocaster signed by Olive Creed. And it survived my house fire. So I still have it. It's crazy.
Listening to Cain, Randy, and Brooke on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right. Ho, 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 everybody. And welcome to the show, Scratch the Vinyl fans. You guys made it back. And I'm not your boy, Cain Stevens. I'm actually Ghetto Claus in the flesh, everybody. I've been trying to tell you guys about me. I spread Christmas cheer and Christmas joy to everybody on the off days when Santa isn't working. So I got to tell you guys, I spread some cheer yesterday, and I was so glad to do it. I got in the old misery machine, and I got behind the old reindeer, and I crossed that barrier to the north side of town. That's right, everybody. They usually don't let me in because I'm a South Sider now, but they let me over for this one thing. So I went and I delivered some cheer to our co-host who's not here right now, Brooke, and also the entertainment guy himself, the Godzilla of entertainment in this town, so many towns, the party guy, Randy Wilson. I went over to his place and I gave them some gifts, and I want to bring him on right now. So, Randy, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Well, I felt like Christmas came early yesterday.
Did you like the glittery Christmas bag that I gave you that ended up all over your living room?
It may be the only present I get this year, so I absolutely loved it. What are you talking about? Like you were Santa Claus in true form.
Well, I delivered on my, since Brooke isn't here to talk about it, I delivered on my gift to her. I've been telling her now for what, a year and a half or more that she's going to get the Oak Ridge Boys Christmas. And I'll be danged if I didn't head over there with one of my copies of that. I finally dug through the collection and found it. And I took her that. And I also gave her a Tenacious D album. So, because I know how much she loves Jack Black, and I know, it just kind of makes sense after having John Koneski from Tenacious D on the show. I just went for it. And so I did that. I tried to be very methodical on the albums that I don't give albums to a lot of people. So I want you to know this, Randy. I only give albums to the people I truly love. And that's the truth, man, because I'm a hoarder, man. I don't want to give it up for nothing. I fight people in the aisles for that Perfect Carpenters album that I already have 2 copies of. But Randy, why don't you tell everybody what Ghetto Claus brought you?
Well, I didn't have this copy, but I've seen it many times. But you did bring me Elvis's Blue Christmas, which was I grew up on that and I love it. And you replaced a Julian Lennon album that I had lost. And you might be the only person that knew that. And you then fulfilled my Christmas emptiness. And now the world is all right. You also, probably my favorite thing was you got me a new songbook to write in. So now I have no excuse to keep writing my lyrics down and writing new stuff.
Well, and not only that, Randy, but I, as a gag gift to both of you guys, I got you guys a Dollar Tree build your own band kit. I got you guys a little keyboard, one of those little microphones that you echo into. Unfortunately, yours is all Dollar Treed out and doesn't work, and a little guitar to go with that. But hey, you can always pretend. You know, you can get your mic skills down to a science with that. You can flip it around in your living room. I just wanted to give you guys like a little ghetto build your own band scenario because I think you're ready, Randy. I think well, I'm challenging you once again, my friend. We're gonna get that vinyl record of yours made, you and I, and it's gonna be awesome. And this is your start.
So all you're making me think is having it like a Jimmy Fallon episode where we're going to play a famous song with all these toy instruments, and that will have to be. We'll put that song on Brooks' album. I've made a list of the gag songs that we're going or the comedy songs that we're going to put on Brooks' album.
The only thing her album is missing with instruments is a whoopee cushion and a rubber chicken, right? That squeaks. Like that's the next, and maybe a kazoo.
Well, maybe one good cowbell. One good cowbell. I know she definitely has the toy tambourine.
She does, and man, I'll tell you what, Brooke is far more talented of a musician than someone leads on. I've seen her play a little bit of keyboard at her place. I've seen her perform. I watched her perform a Dick in a Box at Madness at Madsen's with a guy in like a chicken outfit or something, and she stole the show. Everybody, Brooke is as entertaining as you think she is, and more live.
Well, she did teach me how to play the piano. Like we did it, of course, on a piano with two dead keys, but so I would get to the certain part and I started learning how to play with both hands, and I'd hit these two keys and they'd just be dead. And I'm like, Brooke, how am I supposed to learn how to do this? And she said, well, you just have to anticipate.
I can confirm that it does have two dead keys because I've officially now played it a couple of times, and you're fingering around this thing and you go and you try to make this little jump over here and oh what's all
oops yep oops So I should probably write a song referencing the two dead keys, but that was going to be our production company. If we were ever going to form a music production company, it was going to be called Two Dead Keys.
Oh man, you watch out with that one. You know the Black Keys. You know they would be their lawyers would be kicking their curls, and they'd be like, oh, it's just so close to it. If they just said one more thing, we're going right after them.
Well, before we get our guest on today, are you ready for Christmas? Like, I mean, you've got the wife and the kids and the tree and the dog. Like, are you ready?
This is the most ready I think I've ever been in my entire adult life. I mean, I'm so ready, Randy. I even have the groceries bought and paid for like the different meals and everything. Like this has never happened before. Usually I'm like phoning mom and I'm like, Mom, you know, man, I spent too much on this or that. I don't have the funds, and mom will you know, wire me over some cash or whatever. But this year I'm just so prepared and I'm just so excited about this year.
Well, we have decided to not do gifts at all, except for one gag gift. And we have decided as our family group, we're just pouring the money into a great dinner. So we're going to do crab legs and lobster tails at Christmas.
Man,
So no presents, but we're going to feast like kings.
that sounds like the best one of all. I think I'm gonna just ignore my family, and, and I'm gonna come to you guys as fan and eat myself as much crab legs and things that I can get a hold of, like a seafood boil, man.
Yep. So Christmas Eve night, you just tell your wife you got to go get some milk, and I'll send you home about 5 or 6 hours later. And you just use the excuse the stores were closed and it took you forever to drive to Omaha and back to get a gallon of milk.
Come back fat and full, like Santa himself. You know, like 6 hours later is crazy.
So I do want to bring up one more thing before we get going, and it's just because it's something we always talk about, is kind of, we cringe with the idea that it's Christmas time and Mariah Carey is going to be constantly on the radio. Well, I want you to know I embraced it this week. At all my shows, I did Christmas stuff for my shows. And at a pivotal point, I was feeling pretty much in the Christmas spirit. I called up one of my, what I consider better singers of the group, and I kamikazed them to do All I Want for Christmas Was You. And she killed it. And I'm like, all right, it's Christmas now. I'm ready.
Well, you crossed the barrier there, Randy. So I've been telling people, I figured this out the other day, that the MC who we're referring to, we can't say her name because she's like Candyman. I actually said it in the mirror 3 times the other day, and I swear to you, she killed one of my turtles and one of my fish. Like, she's so evil, she's so nefarious, but those songs and those notes, we can't say aren't classic.
They are classic. And let's be honest, deep down, we like it. We just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, we all everyone likes it. I'm convinced that what does she make money at the rate of? We're talking like I don't know, like $1 million every second in the Christmas company.
Every minute. Well, I just want to say to all of our Scratch the Final listeners who survived another year as we're getting toward the end of the year, Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. And, we appreciate all of you guys and everything that you guys have done for us. It is the gift that keeps on giving. And now we're going to give a gift back to you guys in the form of an awesome guest. And I'm not just talking about your average everyday guest. I'm talking about a guy who I personally love as an artist. And you guys are like, but Cain, you always say that. You love everybody. But this is different. I love this guy in so many different ways. If I could kiss him through the screen, I would. And he would probably give up on this interview immediately. But let's move on right now. He is local rapper, worldwide rapper. He's a rapper everywhere. And we're going to unwrap him right now and see what makes this guy go. We have Jxhnny Bliss, everybody. Jxhnny, how are you doing?
What's happening? What's up, guys? How are you?
Insert DJ.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I had to just lights everywhere, just, you know what I mean? Like a 30-second buildup and then a drop, and then we'll start the interview.
What's crazy is you were on my show, the Cain Stevens Super Show, many moons ago, where we talked about all sorts of crazy stuff. On those shows, we talked about ghosts and aliens and a little bit of music here and there. But on this one, Jxhnny, we are going to dive into you as an artist. I think that I've been wanting to get you on for quite a while, because not only do we not have enough people in hip hop and rap on the show, we've had some, but we want to get more. And I can't think of a better artist than you to get on, because and this is no lie. I mean, I told Randy this earlier. I do like a lot of local, I for lack of a better term, I will call them homebrewed musicians. But you're one of those that the lyrics really stick to me. Like, my roots are in rock and even R&B growing up, but rap was so huge to me that I don't know why, the poetry of it all just really set it off for me. And you give me like with your lyrics, it just really socks me right in the gut, man. So we had to get you on. I'm so glad that you're here.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And I mean, yeah, like rap was influential to me, because I realized at like age 16 that rock just doesn't hit the same on subs like rap does. And so growing up with my dad in the music industry and me meeting all these bands and rock stars when I was yay high, like I always wanted to be a rock star. And then like age 12, 13, 14, I was, lead singer of a band and writing my own music and playing guitar. And like, to me, I sounded just like Kurt Cobain, and I could cover all of his stuff. And I was like, yes, like that's my idol. That's my favorite musician ever. And then my voice kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And like, I just stopped playing instruments and stopped kind of singing and just never adapted. So in my brain, not knowing anything about singing and the art of it, I was like, well, I guess I can't sing anymore, but I still had these same aspirations. Right. So I'm like, okay. So then fast forward to, I think I was 19, and I had just graduated because I graduated a year later because I just loved school so much. I was just like, keep me here for an extra year. So, ended up going to my childhood best friend's house, and he had showed me 2 songs that he had made from scratch. Like, I don't know if he made the beat, but we were using what was that called? It always comes on your Apple laptops, GarageBand. So we were using GarageBand. We had the little Snowball Yeti mic, and he showed me 2 songs, and I was blown away. Like, I was like, "Yo, I don't understand how you did that. That's the coolest thing in the world. Like, I want to do that." And he was like, "All right, cool." So he kind of like, I wrote my own lyrics, but he kind of helped me formulate it because I didn't know any idea. I had no clue how to rap, no clue. And so he kind of helped me write. I think I wrote like 8 to 12 bars or something like that and recorded it. And I was obsessed with it. I thought it sounded great. Like, I've listened to it because it was my first. It's so cringy and it's so bad. And it's just like, for me, it's just like, it makes my skin stand up or skin crawl. But it's just like, but I loved it. And I showed all of my friends, and they all trashed it. And they're like, "You're awful. Like, you're not good. Like, what is a middle class white kid with a rock background? Like, your dad's on the radio. Like, why are you rapping?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it's fun and I enjoy it. And this is my thing." And so I kind of had that underdog mentality. Same thing I had with sports my whole life. So I was my whole life, I was always the shortest on the field, but I was always the fastest and best athlete. So I've always been overlooked. And so I've always had that underdog mentality where, like, "All right, I'm about to show you." And so I just kept, I guess, getting better and better and better and just perfecting my craft over years and years and years. And, it's just one of those things where I fell in love with it so heavily that it just became my all. And a couple of years ago, to the point of where I kind of had to have like an ego death, because I felt like it was really hard for me to get on. And this sounds really, really bad, but it's just the truth. It's hard for me to get on social media and to see my peers doing well, and for me to not feel like I'm getting the same reaction or more or whatever. And so having a really large ego and realizing that you can have a really big ego, but it's always very fragile. So like, I would hurt my own feelings. I would hurt my own feelings by thinking that I need, X amount of likes, X amount of engagement, X amount of this, X amount of people talking about me. And so I just withered. I got so upset with myself for allowing these things to kind of dictate like my value. And so I took a step back, and I just needed to recalculate and recalibrate and just get Zach taken care of. So Zach can focus on being Jxhnny Bliss, because Zach's a dad. Zach's a full-time worker. Zach pays taxes. You know what I mean? Like, Zach is the adult here, and Jxhnny Bliss is the fun one that gets to go out and live his dream and do stuff. And when you fall out of love with something because you put so much pressure on yourself to succeed, and not that Lincoln, Nebraska is not an awesome place to raise a family, and it's not a great place to do shows and stuff, because it is, but this isn't the end all be all. You got to get out to LA. You got to get out to Atlanta. You got to get somewhere, New York. Like, if you want to live here and call this home base, you got to travel a ton. You got to be out on the road. You got to consistently have bread to drop music videos. Because at this point, they don't actually have to be super professional. If you pay attention, you can see it's one person on an iPhone, and they're for me, I follow a lot of rappers. They're rapping. They're either looking at the camera or they're not, but they're somewhere, and they're just doing like a verse and like the end of a hook or the beginning of the next hook or whatever. And it's just like, okay, that's content. That's what they're using. They're not spending this huge budget to film a big music video. So like I did with Crucified, I spent some money on that video, but it's beautiful. I love it. It was captured amazingly. So, me taking the step backs that I have, it's just like, I needed that. I needed to kind of fall back in love with everything and enjoy the process of it, and feel like I'm not just spinning my wheels. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been nice. It's nice to feel like I'm back being Jxhnny Bliss, because I've done shows, and like, for your audience and my audience who's going to see this, like, this is me being very vulnerable. I don't normally talk about this stuff. I don't typically get on social media and talk about my personal life. Like, I'm not that person. I usually put it in the music. But you know, it's just, on the outside looking in, you know, a lot of people assume that everything's going great and that, like, awesome. But from my point of view, it's like, I feel like I'm drowning. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, perspective is a crazy thing, but not to get off key, but you know, it's just, I had to fall back in love with it and really just want to do this again, because I wasn't willing to hang it up and retire, you know. So it was just like, do I want this? And it was, yeah, it was kind of an emotional moment. Yeah, I do want this. Like, when my girl told me, because I was basically venting to her about feeling like I never had the opportunity to do both, which was be a dad and chase my dreams. It was always be a dad. Like, I'd go do shows and stuff, but like, I knew where I needed to be. So when she told me, my girlfriend Alasia, when she told me that you can do both, bro, I broke down and bawled like a little kid. I didn't even know I was gonna cry, bro. I just hugged her and just said thank you. Like, like, it was weird because the voice in my head, when she goes, yeah, like, if you need to do these shows and we need to pack the kids up and go hit the road and follow you and go to these shows so they can be a part of it, and like, that's not a big deal. And the voice in my head says, I can finally do both. And I just started bawling, because that's all I've ever wanted, was to do both, was to have somebody truly support me, truly have my back and see my potential, rather than try and get me to quit music and work a 9 to 5, knowing how talented, not to, like, you know, stroke my own ego, but I've worked my butt off for this. So like, knowing how talented and driven and the potential that I have, to try and get me to just work a 9 to 5 and just throw away my career. Like, no, like, this is the first time in my entire 35 years of life that I've found somebody who is not only equally as supportive and creative, but like, she's the female version of me. It's weird. Like, she's weird because I'm weird. Like, we're goofy all the time, and but we're also artists. We're sensitive people. Like, we're very sensitive people, and we're good at communicating. And I think that's what makes it so nice and so wonderful to feel like I found that person. Is they help me create art. They help me see what my potential is and see the real me, rather than me having to boost me up constantly. You know what I mean? Because it's nice I have my own validation finally, but it's nice to have validation from others. You know, it's a human characteristic flaw, I'm sure, that I have, but it's what humans are raised. People want to love and be loved. That is the end all be all for the human race. That's it.
Well, I want to tell you, so just listening to all that,
Yeah.
like, man, I can relate to literally almost everything you said. So personally, I was the shortest kid in my class. I was the underdog my whole life. And I mean, I didn't grow as tall until I was a senior in high school. And then it's like, thanks a lot. You know, after getting picked on for all those years, and then and then you chase your dreams and you go after those things. And I want you to know, I want you to know that I feel that you should know that you should feel very fortunate, because a lot of people don't have that kind of epiphany to themselves till much later in life. Like, to really kind of understand who you are, what you want to be, and kind of be the person that you are. And because you're always being pulled in 1,000 different directions. Like you said, being a dad, what's important. You always have to it's like you always have to put your stuff to the side
Mm-hmm.
to live. And you find yourself unhappy. And not because you don't like those things, but you have a drive to do other things. And especially if you're talented, or at least even if it's in your own mind, which is all that matters. Like, you have to believe in yourself. So I want you to know, as somebody that spent You know, I had success in a lot of stuff that I did, but I had to work really hard for it. And it felt at the end, it felt kind of lonely. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because the only person I was really trying to prove something to was myself.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, okay, you achieved it. There's nobody sitting there clapping for you. There's nobody patting you on the back. You just have to be comfortable with knowing the fact that you had a passion for something,
Mhm.
and you went after it and you did it. And for you, obviously, it sounds like you found someone that was on your side, that gave you that kind of like golden key to open the door and go after what you want. And
Yep.
when you do that, a whole bunch of other different joy comes into it. You can actually really appreciate it when it's happening, and not so much maybe after the fact. And so
Yeah.
I want you to know, and I say that because I've listened to a lot of your lyrics and your stuff, and I was relating to a lot of it. And now kind of hearing that part of your story, I kind of get it. So
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and I just kind of wanted to bank off what you were saying. Like, I with like the ego death and stuff, like I didn't realize how miserable I actually was, because I'm so like everywhere I go, oh, that's Jxhnny Bliss. And like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, because like I grew up being the very insecure, like not shy. I was outgoing, but I was very insecure. I had no confidence in myself. And you know, not to blame like my parents and stuff, but like I just didn't have a lot of confidence. And so when I became Jxhnny Bliss, that was a new life for me, to be everything I ever wanted to be that couldn't be. Because like I had a ton of friends. I was friends with all the different types of people and stuff, but I didn't have my own identity. I literally was this person one week and this person the next. You know, I was just trying to figure out who I was and where I fit in, because I was emulating my father for the longest time. And it's like, well, I need to be me. And so Jxhnny Bliss was another chance for me to like actually be confident, because it was faked. It was fake confidence, you know, fake it till you make it. So the people that showed me no attention in school, as you know, I'm 25 and I'm getting booked for these big shows and I'm genuinely doing stuff. I'm hitting the road. I'm doing all this stuff. Um, those same people are like, hey man, I just really wanted to say like, good job, keep it going. Like, you know, whatever. And I'm like, thanks. Like, so it took me a really long time. I basically needed 1,000 people's validation that, yep, I'm cool. I'm good at what I'm doing. I'm attractive or whatever it is, for me to start believing it. So then, you know, around 26, 27, 28, I start believing this. So like I actually have a newfound genuine confidence. Don't get it twisted. I still got that little insecure kid in the back of my brain talking to me all the time about everything. But it's like, who's running the ship now is the person that I forced myself to become, that I knew I could become. So that way I could actually be happy, because, you know, just having this really big ego and feeling above the world, like I am 100% invincible, and then having your whole world crumble, because I was a very selfless person. I did everything to make sure that you were in good spirits, that I managed everybody's emotions but my own, basically. So then 30s come and I'm like, I'm sad and I'm angry now. Like I can't just be sad. Like I gotta want to punch a wall. That's, you know what I mean? Like I'm 30 and I can't control my emotions. What's going on? So then it became the really, really, really deep dive into who I am and why I'm built this way, and what do I like, what don't I like, what can I change, what can't I change, and then start compartmentalizing and peeling back the onion. Okay, what do I like? Perfect. Let's keep that there. But here's what I don't. But here's what I can change, and here's what I can't. So then you start compartmentalizing all the things that you can change, and you start doing it every day. And it's significantly easier said than done, obviously. But it's just hard when, for the longest time, that you have to be your own motivator and you got to be the one to get yourself out of bed, and finally finding a partner that like actually brings that out of you makes all the difference in the world. Just to be able to feel like I can do both and I can do everything in between successfully, because it takes a village. Like that old saying, it takes a village, is so real. Like I didn't understand it until I understood it. Like you need support, you need a support system, you need a team.
Well, you find yourself being this people pleaser all the time.
Yeah.
And
100%.
and for me, it was like being the party guy. Like, then you like had to be the party guy for everybody. And then you find yourself not even recognizing yourself.
Mhm.
And then so I'm glad that you kind of found that full circle. I'm glad that you came back to where you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. Me too.
Well, the conversation about ego check and ego death is, I mean, that really socked me in the gut as a fellow musician. Like I feel that deep down in my heart because I don't care what anybody says. If I know you're clapping for others, but it's hard when you get online and you're working so hard at it. And then you see people who, no offense to them, this, that, or the other thing, you perceive yourself as being, well, I'm better than them. Why do they have this over me? And you get lost in this whole game with yourself that you're only playing with yourself, right? Because
Right.
it's one of those things where you like things that happen to you, and this is something I've learned the older I get, is that everything affects you only how you let it affect you, right? Like your anger, you talked about anger as an emotion. Uh, it's that moment where you finally realize like they're not doing it to me, I'm doing it to me because I'm allowing them to win. And once
Mhm.
they win, right? Once they get you angry or upset, or you let yourself, you've already lost. So that's the true wisdom of life. So, man, just thank you so much for being so vulnerable in this, and you too, Randy. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but it does take a village. It does help to have a spouse or a loved one who actually supports you. I am lucky that I've had that, right? Like my wife, who I'm with now, I've been with her for 16 years. She has been nothing but supportive of all of my ventures. And so it's really just insecurity on the person that you're with sometimes too, right? They're afraid that you're going to go
Oh
out,
yeah.
you're going to live that lifestyle, and girls are going to come up to you and all these things. But when really it's how strong is our relationship, right? How good, how good are things really? And so they have to kind of do the gut check. So yeah, man, thank you so much for being vulnerable on this. I really love this conversation, and it's another after school special from STV
Yeah.
where we're
Well,
showing you guys with the real life stuff about being a successful businessman. Randy is a championship bowler, a champion in multiple things in his life, a successful businessman. And then there's me, Ghetto Claus, where I've been good at a couple of things too, throughout my tenure in music and everything. But now I'm on this podcast journey, and I've been on it for about 4 or 5 years now or more. And so now we're trying to knock down other things. But let's dive into your music a little more, Johnny, because I got to tell you, not to put you in a box, but I have a rapper who I like very much. His name's Chris Webby,
mhm.
and I think he's fantastic. But there's something about your delivery, and you're not copying. I'm not saying that at all, but you remind me of him, and I think that that's high praise because this guy is so good at his delivery and his lyrics, and I put you in the same vein, man. And so
Oh, he's dope. Thank you.
he is dope. And when I listen to Trends, which just came out, I can see where you're kind of at a new point, like where you're kind of evolving, you're rapping with other artists. But back when you did Painted Smiles, I mean, that's what drew me into you as an artist. I was just flipping through YouTube, and I just happened to see the video of you in that. You're right there in front of like it's, well, I don't know if you're actually in front of the Capitol, but you're rapping
Yeah, I
front of
am.
the Capitol, and you're doing Painted Smiles, and it drew me in, man. I mean, it was everything. It had, like, to me, kind of an East Coast flair to the sound. And then when the lyrics hit, it locked me in. And that's really why I contacted you initially with my former show, was because I truly just discovered you organically and just really loved how you delivered and everything you did. And I've been a fan ever since.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for that. I genuinely appreciate you putting me up amongst Chris Webby because he's dope. I opened for him several years ago. But yeah, like just the East Coast, like I really like the boom bap. So if you go back and listen to like my earlier mixtapes, you can hear a lot of my first mixtape was other people's stuff I pulled off YouTube. It was remixing Lil Wayne and all this. It was just to get music out, or beats that no one had ever heard of. But just the overall growth, like looking back and watching how I navigated through all this stuff, like it only felt right to really bring back the hip hop sense, because I can make, cause I don't know, hip hop and rap. I think that they're different. You know what I mean? Like you can make a lot of different types of rap and you can make a lot of different types of hip hop. So I wanted to have kind of both in that. I like Painted Smiles to me. It's basically it's a metaphor. So it means two different things. So people like fake people. Like I'm tired of the fake just in the world, not even necessarily individual people, but just the fakeness, the lies, the stuff that you see on social media, these painted smiles where people, I'm so happy, but you're not happy. I can see through it. It's BS. And also sometimes, no matter how hard it is, you got to paint that smile on and just keep trudging through stuff. So to me, it just made sense. And like, if you look at the album cover, it's me. It's a huge, beautiful portrait of me, right? And the artist is not even done yet. He's half illustrated, but he's painting himself. Like this is what he wants you to see, but he himself, the artist, is not complete yet. I have not completed and constructed my full being, but this is what I want you to see. So that's what I wanted to have on that, because it just, when I came up with an album name and just what I wanted to see for the album cover, it just made sense.
I connected with that song immediately. Like I knew where you were going. Like that's what drew me in. Like I had never talked to Cain about that song, but when I saw it, I picked up on it right away, and I'm like, God, that is genius. But it was perfect. It was like it, because it brought out something that happened in my life, which was basically spending all this time with people that you think are your friends. You do all this time, and then when you hit rock bottom and you got nothing, those people aren't around.
Mhm.
And then you find out who your real friends are, and again you find that place, and you realize, and then you as you recover and you start moving on with your life, those fake people and those fake smiles, they stand out like a sore thumb. And I thought you hit that perfectly. And and I was just kind of a casual observer of your music. But then when I saw that video, I was like, wow, that guy's spot on. So I don't know if it was just connected, us Midwest guys connected to Midwest things or whatever, but that I thought you were really touching on something real with that song.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, and it's weird because like I've gotten so many positive reactions from people that I never assumed would listen to hip hop. Like I got booked to open up last year for a country show. Like these are mostly country. They do a little hip hop rap, but it's mostly country. And when I went up there and did my first song, and I seen these people just light up and be like, "Yo, what?" Because it was only maybe 200 people, so it wasn't a huge crowd, but it was enough people. And my second song in, I was like, all right, can I rap? Do you guys like rap? And then I just went on to do Mount Olympus, and they're like, okay, more. And I'm like, this is cool, because when I walked up on stage, jewelry and all, like head to toe, Jxhnny Bliss, and I look out and I see nothing but flannel and cowboy, and I'm like, oh Lord, what? I'm going to give them a show, but are they going to perceive this? Are they going to be willing to go on this journey with me? Now, had I done, I think, a certain style of music only, and I didn't give them a variety, I think it would have went differently. But I got to do Crucified. I did Painted Smiles. Like I did stuff to really bring people in, for people to realize, oh, he's a human being. He's not just a robot who makes music. He's a vulnerable human. And I crack jokes on stage. Like I will always crack jokes on stage. I will find something to say, and I will usually get some type of laughter. So it's important for me as an artist and an entertainer, not just an artist, but like as an entertainer, you should aspire for every person that sees you or interacts with you to leave with two things. One is a physical item. So I have these Jxhnny Bliss download cards that have my QR code on them. I just hand them out at shows or even ticket stubs. But you have that one physical item, but you have an emotion attached to that physical item. So therefore, it becomes memorabilia to them. It becomes nostalgic. So if they look at even a ticket stub and they can be like, yo, either he rocked out and that was an amazing show, or my God, he really hit me with lobotomy or that, or painted smiles, or drowning, or whatever the song is. You have something physical, but an emotion attached to it. And that's how you make your core fans. That's how you make people want to see you win and want to be a part of your success and want to go out of their way to be like, hey, I'm going to share this to my friends because I like you. Not because I think it's the right thing to do and because I think that's what you want me to do, but because I want my friends to know who you are. And that's what's important to me, is I'm realizing that in my latter years of doing this, that I make way more of an impact making songs like Drowning and Crucified and Painted Smiles than I do making Mount Olympus or Not Today. Don't get me wrong, those songs are amazing and I love the lyricism and the song and production and everything as a whole, but they don't make as much of an impact when I'm talking about the arrogant side of me versus the vulnerable emotional side of me and what I have to offer and lessons learned and what I have to offer and wisdom and just getting my story out there. I'm noticing that a lot more people can connect with stuff that has more substance. I mean, all of my lyrics have had substance. I'm a punchline artist. If you go back and you can read them, like you're like, every line is a punchline. So there's substance there, but it's what really hits home, what really brings it in to make people be like, yep, you're different than everybody else.
You know, me and Cain talk about this a lot, is that sometimes when you're just exposing people to different music anyways, like you said, you get up there and you give them a new experience. Good music is still good music and they will connect with it. Like if they get it, they get it. They could be the biggest country fan, but you hit them with something real, they'll connect with it. Uh, you know, I'll bring Cain in. Don't you think, like we talk about that, like how people could just really, if it's good, people will connect with it.
Absolutely. You talk about playing in front of a country crowd and them digging the rap, right? Digging the art of it all. I think that Randy's absolutely right. And this is what we talk about is if it's good, it's good. It's going to hit home to somebody. I mean, look at what Shabuzi's doing in country or Big X the Plug and all this. It might not be for everybody. I mean, even look at Cowboy Troy from back in the days with Big and Rich. Like, can you, some of those crowds, I mean, their eyes were this big. They were huge when like Cowboy Troy would get up there with, but people started to dig it. I think that the turn on some of that is like Jelly Roll, right? Because Jelly Roll started out completely different, and it kind of introduced some of these people to a different type of music, and then and now he's like a full blown country artist. But I definitely get what you're saying, Randy. If it's good, it's good. It connects, and that's what you really have going on here. Is that you're just good, man. I mean, I don't mean to give. We talk about trying not to praise the artist so much because it's awkward, but I think you deserve the high praise, man. I really do, and I don't mean that so that you come back with, oh, oh, thank God, we love you guys because you said this to me. But we think that you're great, and we know that you're crossing over in your ways to all different audiences.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I try to. I try not to box myself in. I grew up listening to all different types of music and appreciating all types of music. So one thing I made sure that I didn't do was find one thing that works and beat it to death. I didn't want, you know what I mean? There's so many artists that they have a hit single that comes out, right? Never heard of them. They're like, oh, okay, let me go listen to your album. And it's the same BPM. It's the same song regurgitated basically. I mean, there's a couple variants, but I wanted to give different sounds, but I needed those sounds to make sense. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have a Kendrick album and it's a concept album from start to finish, but it kind of takes you on a journey and kind of allows you to, like, I have ADHD severely. So interviews and conversations, I bounce a ton. So you get that, you know what I mean? Like you get to go on the journey of like me talking about not feeling great about myself. And then Mount Olympus kicks on. It's like, all right, you ready? You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that where like you get to see the most authentic me, even if I don't realize that that's what I'm portraying. Like I'm just giving it to you because, again, I spent so much time in my younger years trying to figure out who I was, and I was emulating everybody else. Now I'm like, no, I love being the authentic me. So y'all are gonna get it. You're either gonna love it or you're not. Like I'm past the point of I don't make bad music. My music doesn't suck. It might not be for you. It might not be the emotion you're wanting to hear at the time. You might not like rap. You might not like my voice. You might hate the beat, but it doesn't suck. So that's a good feeling to know that I've worked to that point to where I'm confident enough that I can put out something. If I feel good about it, then they're going to feel good about it. And that's nice.
I was just going to say the nice part, the beauty of it really is you have found this journey now, and it's not even close to being over. Like
No.
you're just now at this point, and now you just have a lot of confidence in doing it. So you're probably not even half. Let's just be honest, you're not even halfway there.
No, I hope not. It's been a long road, you know, because I've been rapping for pretty much 15 years and doing shows. Because my first show, the first time I ever stepped on stage, man, was at a Macklemore show at the height of his popularity at Sokol Auditorium in Omaha. And it's a crazy story. The guy, Ben, that got me to start rapping in the first place, he knew these two chicks that we went to high school with, and they had 2 extra tickets to go see Macklemore. I hadn't listened to his music. He kind of knew about him or whatever. So we're like, all right, cool. So we get up there at like 1 in the afternoon because the doors don't start till like 7, but we're like 10th in line. And so, you know, hours go by and people are filling up. The line's getting long. And if you know Sokol, there's that big parking lot at the end, and it's always roped off. But there was these tour buses, and Ben actually noticed somebody from Lincoln that had a press badge that was doing photography, and he was just kind of like, "What's up, dude?" and tried to like say hi to him. And that guy tried like big timed it and was like, "Shh, like I'm a part of the tour. Like get out of here. I'm too cool to talk to you." And so the opening act for the whole tour, his name's D1. He lives he's from New Orleans. He's a Christian rapper, but he is amazing. He seen the whole interaction and was like, that's not cool. So he came and made it a point to come find us in the crowd because we were like 10th in line. So Ben was smoking a cigarette and he walked down just to not smoke in front of people. And that's how the whole thing happened. And so I started walking towards Ben, and then D1 came up to us and was like, hey, I can't stand when those press people do that. Like they're no cooler than you guys are. Like I can't stand the arrogance. He introduced himself, said he was part of the tour, and he goes, hey, do you know where the closest like FedEx Kinko's is? And we're like, we're not from here, but our car is literally right there, like 20 feet across the street. Like we'll take you. So we GPS it. It's 35 minutes down the highway. We get there. Long story short, we ended up sitting through 2 different magazine interviews. Like he had people come to do interviews with him, and we ate dinner with him, and we got to hang out with him. And I told him that I was very green at rapping. I think I had I don't even know if I put him out. I think I had 2 songs, maybe 3 total. And he was like, yo, so what I've been doing every day on the tour is I randomly bring somebody up on stage to rap with me. He had a song with, what's his name? Biggie Fresh. No, Manny Fresh. Biggie Fresh. Wow. He had a song with Manny Fresh. And so he took Manny's verse out, right? And you're supposed to fill in the gap. It's a 12-bar verse. And at 4, 8, and 12 bars, the beat drops out. So it's wide open for you to just do your thing. And he's like, I'll randomly pull you on stage. And I was like, okay. So I start sweating bullets. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to freestyle. So I pulled a verse that I had memorized from one of my other songs that fit perfectly with it. So we're in the crowd. We're up front. You know, he sees me. And he's scanning back and forth, like, who wants to come up, blah, blah. And he looks at me and he goes, you come up. And so everyone's just like, stupid white kid. And so I get pulled up on stage. My heart is pounding. And this is the craziest part, is my heart is pounding. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I start walking up the steps, and the moment I step foot on the platform of the stage, it stops. I'm immediately like, I got this. This is my show. So I go over there. He's doing his thing, and he looks at me like, okay, your verse is coming on. And I get through the first 3 bars, and then that 4th bar, every beat drops off. It's open. I perfectly hit this punchline, and the whole crowd goes from oh, and I was just like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I was signing autographs, and I had a show in Lincoln like 2 weeks later. I sold a bunch of tickets there. Like, that was my first time on stage, was in front of a sold out Sokol crowd. And it was just like, this is what I meant to do. And from then on, it was just keep that ball rolling.
My God, that is an incredible story.
It was wild, dude. I couldn't believe it. I still talk to D1 every couple of years. We talk on Instagram and stuff. So he's cool.
We talk to big artists all the time now, and we find there is that kind of story happens a lot. Like, you have to be in this like weird coincidence, something miraculously happens that kind of gives you that epiphany or something. But yours is cool. Like, that's like, you just happen to be standing out in line and get, just that continue event that just kept rolling forward for you. That's crazy.
Well, I can't say that my shows after that were that big, but it was really nice to be able to go on stage and get brought up and genuinely be perceived as somebody who could do this. Not that I've done well. I don't have it on recording, so I can't go back and watch it. I don't know the song. I don't know the lyrics. I don't know anything. I know I did well, but it was cool. And just knowing from like having a rock background and stuff, and meeting like Motley Crue and hanging out with Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx, and hanging out with Scott Stapp of Creed, and burping in his face, and then asking for a signed guitar, and then he just says, fuck it, I'll send you a signed guitar even though you just burped in my, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have all these stories, so it only makes sense that 5, 6, 7 years old, going backstage with my dad, meeting all these people, it just makes sense to be able to just give it back in full.
Well, look at that, Randy. That's he told the story without me having to prompt him. That's actually, if for all you STV fans, this is part of the STV lore. Is we had EJ on from the Blaze, and EJ talked about you being like family to him, and I think he even mentioned the kid that got the guitar from Creed. And here he is, everybody. He's here in the flesh with us, so to speak. He's right here on our show. So I'm so glad you told that story, man.
Do you want to hear the whole story?
I think so. I think we owe it to the fans. Let's do it.
All right. So it's 2000. I'm 10 years old. And it's close to Christmas. And I know at this point that Toys for Tots, there's 5 to 10 signed guitars from bands. I already know that they're going to get auctioned off. So what am I doing? I'm asking my dad over and over, Dad, can you get me a signed guitar? Dad, can you get me a signed guitar? Now, it's before the show. We're at a really big, long, white foldable table, like multiple tables and stuff. And, the rest of the band's doing their thing. And it's me, my dad, and then Scott Stapp directly next to me. And I'm like, Dad, get me a signed guitar. Get me a signed guitar. And finally he goes, you know what? Why don't you ask him for a fucking signed guitar? Stop asking me. He's right there. Why don't you ask him? So I'm like, okay. And I have this huge burp building, right? And I'm like, fuck, I can't just burp out loud in his face. So what do? Burp, blow it out my nose, and then turn right to him and go, can I have a signed guitar? And he looks at me and he goes, did you just burp in my face and ask me for a signed guitar? And I just kind of pause and go, yeah. And he goes, you know what? I like this kid. Get him a signed guitar. He got my information, and a couple weeks later, man, there's a giant triangle box in the mail, and it's a Fender Stratocaster signed by all of Creed, and it survived my house fire. So I still have it. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy, yeah. Randy? Here we got it. We got it from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
So that show had a full circle moment with me and EJ and the Blaze in my time.
Oh, cool.
So I had a business and I was doing a rock and bowl show is what we called it, but it was me packing my place. I had a couple bands, and one of them was a local band called Seed, which was a cover band of Creed at the time.
Mhm.
And so kind of this is in the early days of Blaze starting to be who they were and no budget and trying to find ways of doing what they do. We did this contest where you'd have to call in if is this Creed or is this Seed, and if you guessed correctly, you got tickets to the show and whatever. And we did this big rock event, and EJ told me in this interview we did, he said that literally made that was the stepping stone for us really going forward
That's
as
cool.
the Blaze. But I was like one of those handful of advertisers on the Blaze at that time, and that party that we did with that, oh my God, went till 6 a.m. My crew was dead. I'd been up 40 hours straight preparing for this big event, and somehow had to still had to get everything put back together for the next day's business, and it was absolutely nuts. But had a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Had a lot of funness to that time.
Yeah,
of
man.
that time period in music, and that was a big show. So, and you're the kid that got the guitar. That's crazy.
Yeah, back in the 106.3 the Blaze days.
Oh yeah, 106.
Not even 104.1.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been wild, man. It was cool. I was hanging out backstage with Dave Grohl. I mean, they were doing their thing, but they were nowhere near the worldwide large band, and we're hanging out backstage, and he's just fucking with me. Like we're both children, right? I don't know if this is the same show, but it's got to be right around the same time period. And there's a picture somewhere where I'm putting bunny ears on Dave Grohl and he's doing it to me, but neither one of us know we're doing it to each other. Yeah.
I love Dave Grohl.
Cool. He's so great. I will not tolerate any Dave Grohl slander. He is too great of a human being. I don't care if you like his music or not. I don't care. He's a beautiful human being, man. He's so humble.
Just so you know, you're making Brooke jealous that she's not on the show today, but
I bet.
Yeah, look, I for years I told people, I said, you still want to go see a real rock show, go see the Foo Fighters. Like I still think they put on one of the best. Like what me growing up seeing rock shows, that's what you get when you go to see those guys.
Well, you have to take into consideration that the stepping stone for Foo Fighters was Nirvana, and they were the true thrash and genuinely throw a fucking show. Like Kurt knocked himself out with a bass.
Yeah.
You don't just casually be like, this is cool. You know what I mean? That was his thing, and he just got caught in the stage lights and busted his stuff open. But like that is the Play-Doh F for which you shape. And so it of course it makes sense. Like just knowing that you have the ability to connect, because it's not like he didn't call out the BS that you've seen with that first album. I love that album.
Yeah.
Stacked Dead Actors, like there's some stuff that's going on, but you got to see the evolution of him rather than being an angry adolescent, or I don't know, he's still older than me, but being an angry young man to like figuring out the art and figuring out he has the ability to impact everybody. And it's not like I can name songs off the top of my head, but I know that there is countless songs that are bigger in China than they are here. You know what I mean? It's just because it's a global reach, and that's just because he has the ability to connect with so many people.
And he wasn't a trained drummer, or he went into the garage and started beating the shit out of the drums. Like he learned it all. He learned it all from the ground floor.
Well, he talks about having there's an interview, I don't know who he's with, but he talks about how he is like, I am not a good drummer. I am tired of people saying I'm a good drummer. He goes, right. I stole all of Nirvana's drum beats from jazz and like, you know what I mean? Like just all sorts of stuff. And you're like, yo, I didn't even realize that.
Out in the wild, there's one creature feared by hunters, admired by lumberjacks, and envied by hipsters.
Yeah, it's me, the elegant Sasquatch, and let me tell you, these locks don't tame themselves.
Introducing the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company. Beard oils, butters, and washes so good, they'll make your face smell like you wrestled a cedar tree while sipping fine whiskey.
Last week, a hiker followed me for 3 miles just to ask what cologne I was wearing. Joke's on him, I don't wear cologne. I wear the Gentleman.
Upgrade your beard game. Sophisticate your outer beast. Find the Elegant Sasquatch Grooming Company at elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com.
And stop stealing my jerky!
Well, we won't tolerate any Dave Grohl bashing on this show. We love Dave Grohl. The three of us will go to blows with people over that guy because he is one of the good ones. And, I think that you're one of the good ones out there too, Johnny. But we got to give you your day in the sun here. And we have to, we're getting kind of wrap up scenario. I would love to have a longer show here, but we got to keep it in the parameters. But let's get your socials out there. Let's tell people where they can find you.
It's just at Jxhnny Bliss right here. I started doing this for the lives that we do on my girl's TikTok. So we play our music and game and stuff. So you know how hard it is to write something backwards where it shows up properly. we had to flip all the letters and put them. We did it like 10 times. We're like, "Yo, this isn't right." But yeah, it's all just Jxhnny Bliss, JXHNNY, Bliss, BLISS. Yeah, all my socials, all the music you'll find everywhere. I made it easy for everybody. Yeah, so I have a link tree. I'm not gonna like necessarily plug the link tree, but if you can find like the Jxhnny Bliss link tree, it's got everything on it. All of my QR codes or the cards I have with the QR code on them sends you to my link tree. So
now, do you have any shows coming up or anything that we can promote out for you for some live stuff?
Yes, of course. So I have a New Year's Eve show. It's at the Post. It's with several different varieties of artists. So we have a New Year's Eve show, and then I think I can say this. I got booked for Lincoln Calling this year. So it's 4 days. I believe it's the 14th through the 18th or 17th. Maybe it's 3 days. I don't know, but I got booked for that. So I'm waiting to hear more details on that. And then I'm actually throwing my album release. So I don't have the graphics for it. But my album that I'm dropping is called Copacetic. So it's going to be parentheses, like cope is in parentheses and then aesthetic. So it's a double meaning. So like when you're coping, you're not copacetic. You know what I mean? So like I come off as copacetic, but I'm truly coping. And so it's play off of Painted Smiles and stuff like that. It's the same kind of concept. So I'll be dropping Copacetic. I have March 20th at the Bourbon Theater in Lincoln. I'll be doing my album release, and I got a pretty stacked lineup too. So I'm pretty excited.
So does that mean if we bring the Scratch the Vinyl press pass, we can come in and hang out with you and
course,
that whole thing, dude? That's amazing. These are big drops, everybody, right here on the show, and you guys can all be a part of it. Well, man, we're so glad you came on the show. You're another one of those guys where we can talk forever. I hope to talk to you long periods of times while we're look at doing some ghost hunting together.
I was gonna say, bro, we got to do some ghost adventure stuff, man, because we've been. I mean, like today, we're going out tonight. There's no way we're staying. It's beautiful. And I'm riding my Harley on Christmas. I don't care about none of this weather. You know what I mean? Like I'm celebrating this stuff. So we got to go ghost hunting. Yeah, we'll get Robber's Cave and everything going soon.
Well, I hope you find the ghost of Christmas past or present out there somewhere. And I hope that you enjoyed your time here as much as we enjoyed you. Randy, do you have anything in closing?
Man, I just want to say thanks as always for taking a little time out to talk with us. And again, just showing that Lincoln's got plenty of talent, and just the best of luck to you, man. Keep going.
Thank you, man. It was nice meeting you, Randy. I genuinely appreciate it. I thank you for saying, all the kind of things you said and stuff. But I'm glad that we can relate on that level too, because, without the podcast, I don't know, who knows if we'd ever meet in real life and stuff. And it feels like we have a lot of similarities and stuff. So it was genuinely nice meeting you. And again, Cain, thanks for having me on. And I can't wait to do more. So
there you have it, Scratchaholics out there and Scratchamania running wild like the Hulkster used to. So take your vitamins, say your prayers, count your blessings here in the holiday season. And by God, everybody, get that vinyl out there and tune in every week for another episode of
Scratch the Vinyl. Scratch the Vinyl.